Greetings everyone. Me and my group mates will discuss the assigned topic, which is the simple search method. The topic that we were going to discuss was based by D. Kopik and T. M. Marsland, the artificial intelligence search method. Before we proceed to the search method, we will define first what is search. Search is inherent to the problems and methods of artificial intelligence or AI. That is because AI problems are intrinsically complex. Efforts to solve problems with computers with humans can routinely solve by employing innate cognitive abilities, pattern recognition, perception, and experience invariably must turn to consideration of search. All search methods essentially fall into one of two categories. First is exhaustive or blind methods, and second is heuristic or informed methods. In this chapter, we will explore search methods in AI, starting with blind exhaustive methods, and then we will turn to heuristic and optimal methods, including some more recent findings. The second half of the chapter we will focus on parallel methods. The methods covered will include for non-optimal uninformed approaches: state space search, generate and test means in analysis, problem reduction and/or trees deep first search and breadth first search. Under the umbrella of heuristic or informed methods are hill climbing, best first search, bidirectional search, the branch and bound algorithm, and the bandwidth search. Tree searching algorithms for games have proven to be a rich source of study and empirical data about heuristic methods. Methods covered include the minimax procedure, the alpha-beta algorithm, iterative deepening, the SSS algorithm, and Scout. So we will now discuss the uninformed search methods. First is the search strategies. Search strategies is a reasoning from a current state in a search of a state which is closer to a goal state is known as a forward reasoning. Reasoning backwards to a current state from a goal state is known as backward reasoning. Next method is the state space search method to be discussed by Leobe Tuyogon. State space search. Exhaustive search of a problem space or search space is often not feasible or practical due to the size of the problem space. In some instances, it is, however, necessary. More often, we are able to define a set of legal transformations of a state space, from which those are more likely to bring us closer to a goal state are selected while others are never explored further. This technique in problem solving is known as split and prune. In AI, the technique that emulates split and prune is called generate and test. The basic method is repeat. Generate a candidate solution, test the candidate solution until a satisfactory solution is found or no more candidate solutions can be generated. If an acceptable solution is found, announce it. Otherwise, announce failure. Next method is the means-ends analysis, another state space technique whose purpose is, given an initial state, to reduce the difference between a current state and a goal state. Determining distance between any state and a goal state can be facilitated. Difference procedure tables which can effectively prescribe what the next state might be. To perform means-ends analysis, repeat. Describe the current state, the goal state, and the difference between the two. Next, use the difference between the current state and goal state possibly with the description of the current state or goal state, to select a promising procedure. Next, use the promising procedure and update the current state until the goal is reached or no more procedures are available. If the goal is reached, announce success, otherwise announce failure. So now next is the problem reduction. The technique of problem reduction is another important approach to AI problems. That is, to solve a complex or larger problem. Identify smaller manageable problems or sub-goals that you know can be solved in fewer steps. This is the figure of problem reduction and the sliding block puzzle donkey. This sliding block puzzle has been known for over 100 years. The object is to be able to bypass the vertical bar with the blob and place the blob in the other side of the vertical bar. The blob occupies 4 space and needs 2 adjacent vertical or horizontal spaces in order to be able to move, while the vertical bar needs 2 adjacent empty vertical spaces to move left or right, or no one empty space above or below it to move up or down. The horizontal bars can move to any empty square to the left or right of them, or up or down. If there are 2 empty spaces above or below them, likewise, the circles can move to any empty space around them in horizontal or vertical line. A relatively uninformed state space search can result in over 800 moves for this problem to be solved, with plenty of backtracking necessary. By problem reduction, resolving in the sub-goal of trying to get the blob in the 2 rows above or below the vertical bar, it is possible to solve this puzzle in just 82 moves. Another example of a technique for problem reduction is called and/or trees. Here, the goal is to find a solution path to a given tree by applying the following rules. A node is solvable if 1. It is a terminal node, a primitive problem. 2. It is a non-terminal node whose successors are end nodes that are all solvable. Or 3. It is a non-terminal node whose successors are OR nodes and at least one of them is solvable. Similarly, a node is unsolvable if 1. It is a non-terminal node that has no successors, a non-primitive problem to which no operator applies. 2. It is a non-terminal node whose successors are AND nodes and at least one of them is unsolvable. Or 3. It is non-terminal node whose successors are OR nodes and all of them are unsolvable.
In this figure, nodes B and C serve as exclusive parents to subproblems E, F, and G, H respectively. One of viewing the tree is with nodes B, C, and D, serving as individual alternative problems. Solution paths would therefore be ABE, ABF, ACG, ACH, and AD. Next method is the deep-first search. The deep-first search, or DFS, is one of the most basic and fundamental blind search algorithms. It is for those who want to probe deeply down a potential solution path in the hope that solutions do not lie too deeply down the tree. That is, DFS is a good idea when you are confident that all partial paths either reach dead ends or become complete paths after a reasonable number of steps. To conduct a DFS, 1. Put the start node on the list called open. 2. If open is empty, exit with failure, otherwise continue. Next, remove the first node from open and put it on a list called closed. Call this node n. Next, if the diff of n equals the diff bound, go to number 2. Otherwise, continue. Next, expand node n, generating all successors of n. Put this in arbitrary order at the beginning of open and provide pointers back to n. Lastly, if any of the successors are goal nodes, except with the solution obtained by tracing back through the pointers, otherwise go to 2. This figure is the tree-sorting example of diff-first search and breadth-first search. DFS always explores the deepest node first, that is, the one which is farthest down from the root of the tree. To prevent consideration of unacceptably long paths, a deep bound is often employed to limit the depth of search. DFS would explore the tree in this figure in the order of A, B, E, I, F, C, G, H, D. Next method is the breadth-first search. Breadth-first search always explores nodes closest to the root node first, thereby visiting all nodes of a given length first before moving to any longer paths. It pushes uniformly into the search tree. Breadth-first search is most effective when all paths to a goal node are of uniform depth. It is a bad idea when the branching factor, average number of offspring for each node, is large or infinite. Breadth-first search is also to be preferred over DFS. If you are worried that there may be long paths or even infinitely long paths that neither reach dead ends or become complete paths. For the tree in the previous figure, breadth-first search would proceed alphabetically. The algorithm for breadth-first tree search is 1. Put the start node on a list called open. 2. If open is empty, set with failure, otherwise continue. 3. Remove the first node on open and put it on a list called close. Call this node n. 4. Expand node n, generating all of its successors. If there are no successors, go to immediately to number 2. Put the successors at the end of open and provide pointers from these successors back to n. Lastly, if any of the successors are goal nodes, except with the solution obtained by tracing back through the pointers, otherwise go to number 2. Last method is the bidirectional search. To this point, all search algorithms discussed, with the exception of means-ends analysis and backtracking, have been based on forward reasoning. Searching backwards from goal nodes to predecessors is relatively easy. Combine forward and backward reasoning into a technique called bidirectional search. The idea is to replace a single search graph, which is likely to grow exponentially, with two smaller graphs, one starting from the initial state and one starting from the goal. The search is approximated to terminate when the two graphs intersect. This algorithm is guaranteed to find the shortest solution path through a general state space graph. So that's all in our topic, and thank you for listening.